Hello, it's been a long time since I've done a vlog, so I thought I'd start over, get back into gear with blogging in general, and what better way to do that than with a vlog? First of all, in case you thought that I earned a medical degree since the last time you saw me, I didn't. But that's the point. You don't have to be a doctor to get to know your body, and that's what this whole vlog is going to be about. This one goes to the single lady. All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single... Many fine folks have raised the issue that NFP has a bad PR manager, bad public relations guru, no good reputation out there in the greater public. I think one way to fix that is for single people to get to know their bodies a little better without thinking about how to avoid pregnancy. That's not our vocation at the moment. Right now, we're just supposed to be single, and we don't have to worry about pregnancy, so why don't we get to know our bodies now as they are? This whole vlog only applies to those women who are not on any kind of hormonal medication, only because these natural signs will only show up if your hormonal status is not altered. It's not any kind of judgment, it's just that I'm not a doctor. And I don't know how to explain how that would work, but I do know that it won't be the same unless you are hormone-free and only natural at this point. Yay! Oh. So, our bodies give us natural signs to tell us what stage we are in our cycles. As every lady knows, we have month-long cycles. And this is about when I expect all of the guys watching this to stop. But if you stick around, you'll get to know some pretty cool things that God implanted in our bodies. It's pretty neat. Natural signs. Yes, just like other natural signs our body shows us. Excuse me. Where's lunch? Men, if you're watching this, I applaud you. But there's a lot of vocabulary you may not know about to come in, so beware. Since I'm just explaining the clues and cues you can pick up on that your body gives, I'm just going to give you the basics, and let's see if I can do this in 60 seconds. Day 1 is day 1 of your period. You've probably been charting your period since you were a teenager, and if you haven't, get on it, girlfriend. It makes it so much easier when you know when hot flow is going to show up. Around day 12 to 16, depending on the woman, you ovulate. Ovulate is a fancy word for release an egg. How cool is that? God gave us the possession of I don't know how many eggs, and not a doctor, that are the building block to life, and we are in charge of all of them. So how cool is it to know when they come out? Next, depending on the woman, you have about 2 weeks after you ovulate before hot flow arrives again. Did it! Yay. So that's the gist. And now I want to explain to you what the cues are. That's the timeline. How do you know when those things are happening? Well, first of all, I think that everyone needs to go out and get a basal thermometer. Symptothermal is the cheapest one that won't cause me to have a lawsuit in explaining charting methods. So if you get a temperature, thermometer, basal thermometer, makes it so much easier. Basal means base, which is really, really specific and very accurate, and it's not the same thing as the one that you take when you're sick. So, first of all, get in the habit of taking your temperature every single morning. The first thing you do. When you wake up in the morning, you turn off your alarm clock and you stick the thermometer in your mouth. And you wait around. This is my basal thermometer. Until it gives you the temperature, and then you write it down. Okay, so what are the clues? Number 1, I think you know when hot flow visits. So your temperatures might be sporadic during that time. I don't know what it'll do for everybody, but I think that it stays pretty consistent depending on who you are over the course of all of the charts that you look at, and you'll be able to see a pattern. Next, the next clue that you'll see is cervical mucus getting more slippery, and you can see an example of what this looks like right here. When that happens, it coincides with a drop in temperature, and by drop I mean like half a degree, and that's why you have to have a very accurate, specific thermometer. So when you chart all this stuff out on a chart like this one, so that's the idea, so that you can get a chart going and see when things happen. When it plummets, that's when you ovulate, and then that egg will die over the course of 24 hours if it's not fertilized. That's a good thing, and for the single ladies. And so that drop down is when you ovulate, and that's your peak day, and that's also when the cervical mucus is going to be the most slippery. On your peak day, that means that you're going to ovulate sometime in the next day or so. It's because your body might not run on a morning schedule, it might be later in the day, and then you have 24 hours after that. During that time period, that's when the egg is living inside of you, making its way down. How cool is that? God gave us this building block in us, and I just like really knowing that it's there when it is. After that peak day, your temperatures will go back up, and mine actually go up higher than they were when Aunt Flo came to visit, and there is an explanation for that has to do with hormones and things. I could try to explain it, but again, not a doctor. Too much? Well, that's about it. Once you jump in and you start charting and you look over the course of a month or 2 months or 3 months, you'll start picking up on clues that you didn't even notice before. Like, for instance, when I run pretty regularly, and then towards the end of my cycle, so about 4 days before Aunt Flo is coming to visit, I get crampy pinches in my abdomen area, and I've never noticed that before. Also, I notice I'm a little more likely to cry when a Lifetime movie comes on, or a Hallmark commercial, or I stub my toe when it's around the time that I ovulate. Something I didn't notice before either. My advice is to write all that stuff down, start charting. I chart on a Google Doc so that I can see it anywhere I go. And I think this is something that will help NFP get a little better street cred and validity among the general public, because it's not just about avoiding having babies. It's about getting to know the creation that God gave us in the form of our bodies. So thanks for joining me. You can get one of these on Amazon or at your local drugstore, but I'm going to give you a link for where I got that. And it's about $10 or $15, so save up. So thanks. I hope this was helpful. Bye.